So my name is Sai Guba, and I'm doing my research paper on including the Fergana-Syrdarya Silk Road Corridor on the UNESCO World Heritage List. Going to the introduction, in the readings we've covered, we learned that the Silk Road is not a single route, but instead it's a collection of overland and maritime corridors that facilitated the movement of goods, religions, and technologies across Eurasia for centuries. And one such route is the Fergana-Syrdarya corridor in Central Asia, as shown in Figure 1 in the picture on this slide. And it's shared between the countries of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. And this corridor served as a crucial link between China, Central Asia, and the Islamic world. And despite this corridor's historical importance, it has not been added to the UNESCO World Heritage List. So the thesis of my paper is that the Fergana-Syrdarya corridor should be included on the UNESCO World Heritage List because it represents one of the most significant and continuous routes of exchange in Central Asia, has a collection of archaeological and cultural sites, and it demonstrates the historical interaction between nomadic and sedentary societies that shaped Eurasian civilization. Now, moving on to the historical significance of this corridor. Uh, First, we're going to talk about the Fergana Valley. This valley is fed by glacial streams from the Sirdarya River, and it's sheltered by the Tian Shan and Alay Mountains, which enabled this valley to support agriculture throughout its history, including viticulture and sericulture. Viticulture is the production of grapes, which is used to produce wine, and sericulture, which is the production of silkworms to produce silk. The corridor served as a primary and continuous route from the 2nd century BCE to the 16th century CE, and it channeled a significant portion of east-west exchange along the Silk Road. Uh, and this con and this corridor was important because it provided the base of many major Silk Road empires. This included the Sogdian, the Persian, Seljuk, and Timurid empires. Now, moving on to cultural exchange and interaction. The Fergana-Syrdarya corridor, it saw the exchange of goods, technologies, and religions, primarily Buddhism and Islam, as well as other cultural practices. In 139 BCE, the Han envoy, Zhang Qian, he likely traveled this very route to establish the first direct contacts between the Han Dynasty and Central Asia, which led to the Chinese demand for so-called horses of heaven, uh, which referred to the specific breed of horses that were available in the Fergana Valley at the time, alongside other goods. This contact paved the way for further Han conquest into Central Asia. Next, we have the Sogdians. They are an Iranian-speaking nomadic people who were originally from Samarkand in modern-day Uzbekistan. They acted as merchants and diplomats along the Silk Road, and they operated all the way west from the Black Sea to all the way east in Korea. And finally, there is the Kushan Empire. It was formed by the nomadic Yuezhi tribe, and this empire combined Central Asian nomadic culture with Persian, Indian, and Hellenic influences. And it also promoted the spread of Hinduism, Buddhism, and Zoroastrianism. Next, the corridor, it contains well-preserved sites, and it's situated along rivers, primarily the Sirdarya. Some of the urban centers and fortifications in this corridor are the Uzgan Archaeological Complex in Kyrgyzstan, the Soran region in the Turkestan region of Kazakhstan, Siganak, another fortification in Kazakhstan, and Akhshikent in Uzbekistan. As for the cultural landscapes, a couple of these landscapes include the Safid Bulan complex in Kyrgyzstan and the Sorotu Tashk rock carvings also in Kyrgyzstan. And finally, for innovation, there is a Fergana horses of heaven. Uh, Horses were bred in Central Asia for a long time, and it's likely that domestication took place in this region. And these horses led to greater demand, uh, primarily from China, especially in warfare. And another innovation is Sauron's Karez irrigation systems. An image is shown at figure 5 to the right. This allowed farmers and agriculture to thrive in Central Asia, which is a region that is arid and is difficult to grow agriculture in. And all of these sites and landscapes, they were from the UNESCO pages for the Fergana-Syrdarya corridor. And we're going to go over how the corridor meets the UNESCO selection criteria to be put on the World Heritage List. So this corridor satisfies multiple UNESCO selection criteria. The three that I found were 2, 3, and 5. So criteria 2 is the important interchange of human values. This corridor facilitated the exchange of goods, technologies, and religions between China, Central Asia, and the Islamic world for over a millennium, going all the way back to ancient history and all the way to the medieval period. Uh, Criteria 3 is exceptional testimony to a cultural tradition. The corridor pays tribute to the Silk Road trading network and the urban cultures that thrived along it. And criteria 5 is outstanding example of human interaction with the environment. The corridor system of oasis cities, agricultural lands, and trade routes, they demonstrate how humans adapted to the arid Central Asian environment. And here is the comparison of the Fergana-Syrdarya corridor to a similar corridor, which is the Chang'an-Tianshan corridor. So in 2014, the Chang'an-Tianshan corridor was inscribed on the World Heritage List, and this corridor is shared between the countries of China, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan. This corridor stretches for 5,000 kilometers, and it was inscribed for criteria 2, 3, 5, and 6. And it includes capital cities, trading settlements, temples, and fortifications. This corridor, it primarily covers the easternmost section of the Silk Road. So the Fergana-Syrdarya corridor, it would provide a complement of the central portion of the Silk Road. Uh, and it primarily represents the Central Asian heartland for Silk Road exchange. And both of these corridors put together, it would form a more complete picture of the Silk Road network. So to the right, here is an image of the Chang'an-Tianshan corridor. And to wrap our presentation up, the Fergana-Syrdarya corridor clearly represents outstanding universal value as defined by UNESCO. The corridor meets multiple UNESCO selection criteria and has connected China, Central Asia, and the Islamic world for over a millennium. The corridor's inclusion will ensure the protection of cultural landmarks, and it would fill a crucial gap in the UNESCO Silk Road's framework alongside the Chang'an-Tianshan corridor. Therefore, the Fergana-Syrdarya corridor must be added to the UNESCO World Heritage List. Here's my presentation for my paper, and thank you very much. Below, I have the references that I plan on using. The list is tentative, so I probably may not be using all of this, but yeah, thank you very much for listening to my presentation.